Hey guys, how we doing and how we feeling today? I'm your host Emilio Fernandez and welcome back to the Pop and Bop podcast. Now, actually this is the season 5 finale of the podcast. So, on this episode, we're going to talk about and review Rosé's debut studio album, Rosie. Now, in case you don't know who Rosé is, well, let me tell you. She's best known for being a member of the famous K pop girl group Blackpink and her recent Billboard Hot 100 top 10 hits, Apate. Now, this album is mainly a pop album and, well, K pop album. Now, prior to the album release, we had two singles, which were the one I just mentioned, the lead single Apate with Bruno Mars, Number One Girl, and on the album release day, we had the third single, which was Toxic Till the End. Okay, so on to the album itself. So the album is 12 songs and it's 36 minutes and 27 seconds long. So it's on the shorter side of a listening session, I would say. So we start with the first track, which is Number One Girl. This is a solid opening track. The second single, as I already mentioned, Rose starts us off with an amazing vocal performance. And in this song, wants to be a certain guy's number one girl. She seeks validation from him, and she's aware that wanting this much attention from a guy is a lonely person's behavior. Okay, so interesting song to start us off. It's called Number One Girl, and we all go through this. I mean, we all want to be a certain person's number one person, and so we end up seeking validation and attention from them and wanting that much like notoriety from someone else, like wanting someone to notice you so bad and to want you so bad. It is a lonely person's behavior. So I guess Rose is letting us know that she's one of those people. Now, moving on to track number 2, 3 a.m. In this song, Rose talks about seeing red flags in her partner, but trying to set them aside and really cling to the relationship. She needs this guy really bad, and when all is said and done, she wants it to be him she can turn to at times like 3 a.m. Okay, so interesting title for a song, 3 a.m., because as we know, in the after hours, usually things don't go so well. So in this case, Rose, as I said, she's seeing red flags in the guy she's dating, but she's trying to ignore them and just like really really cling to the relationship. Really, she really wants to fight for this relationship so bad, and she really needs this guy so bad, and so much so that when times like 3 a.m. come around, she wanted to be this guy in particular with whom she can, like, I don't know, like text at this hour, call at this hour, or just be with at this hour. Now, track number 3, 2 Years, the first of my highlights on the album. This is the best track on the album thus far. And in this song, Rose can't move on from an ex that exited her life 2 years ago. She misses him so badly, as if he died, because she even held a funeral for him in her head. Not even her moving to a different place altogether helped in lessening her misery. So, a pretty relatable song because when someone goes through a breakup, even if it was in the case of this, like in the case of the song 2 years back, you can still miss that person terribly. And it's as if they passed away because, like, they're not in your life anymore. So you can try, as Rosé, you can try to move to a different city, a different country, different continent, to the other side of the world. You can do so many like drastic things like these, and still not get over that person. Like, you may still feel pretty miserable without this person, even if you did all those things. Now, track number 4, Toxic Till the End. This is the third single, as I already said. The soft production builds up towards each chorus where the track really comes alive. The instrumentation's presence is especially noted in the bridge. And in this song, Rose talks about an ex with whom she had a deeply toxic relationship with. Even with her thinking that he wasted her prettiest years and just overall being insufferable, she still found herself going back to that mess. So, another pretty relatable song because a lot of us can go through toxic relationships, like in the case of this song, that you're pretty mad at the other person for wasting your prettiest years, like your like the years where you're still young and or younger, like in your 20s, and now you can't get that time back. And but even with all that, even with everything that this person does to you that you don't like, you don't appreciate, you still find yourself going back to that relationship. Like, there's something, well, I mean, that's how toxicity works. That's how toxic relationships work. Like, even though you're aware that it's not working, and even worse than that, it's damaging you, it's doing bad to you, you're still drawn to that. Like, there's something in there that just brings you back to it every single time. So it's toxic till the end. Like, until one of the people give out, it's not gonna stop. Now, track number 5, Drinks or Coffee, another one of my highlights. One of the strongest tracks on the album. And in this song, Rose is aware that a certain guy wants her, but she thinks they should keep it classy and just go get drinks or coffee together. She's starting to see him in a different light. So basically, this song is saying, like, you want a certain person, you want to be with them, but instead of, you know, right off the bat getting intimate with them, you're like, hey, let's just keep it plain and simple as of right now. Like, until then, let's just do something wholesome together. Like, let's just get drinks or coffee together. I don't know, let's go grab a bite or something of the sort, because you're starting to see this person differently. Like, something about them is really drawing your attention to them. Now, track number 6, Apate with Bruno Mars. This is a lead single, as I already said. This is hands down the most radio friendly track on the album, as it's the most upbeat, and it made a lot of sense to be the song to kick off this era. Bruno brings his A game to this track, really making the most out of the only collaboration on the album. And in this song, Rose and Bruno Mars reference the Korean drinking game of the same name. They talk about two people that are lusting over one another. Okay, so to start off, I wasn't familiar with this drinking game. It's quite interesting. And also, this is the first time, yeah, this is the first time, like outside of Blackpink, this is the first time that Rose collaborates with another artist. And what better artist to collaborate with than with the number one most listened to artist in Spotify worldwide, Bruno Mars. At least as of today, today is the 17th of December of 2024. We're almost at the end of the year, and Bruno is still the number one most listened to artist on Spotify worldwide. So it's not surprising that, as I said at the beginning of the episode, this became a top 10 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. I believe it peaked at number 8. Correct me if I'm wrong. So and it's still getting a lot of streams. So this song really catapulted Rose as a soloist. And now her third single, Toxic Till the End, is also being successful. So this song was the one that really put her on the map, as a soloist. Because with Blackpink, she has been very successful also previously. And the song is pretty straightforward. I mean, there are two people that are really want each other, really are really desiring each other. And the song is saying like, meet me at the apartment. I believe that's what it's saying, but they say it apate because I believe that that's how the Koreans pronounce this, drinking game, this abbreviation. Now, track number 7, Game Boy, another one of my highlights. Rose follows up the previous track with a more tamed one. And in this song, Rose continues the story from track 3, which was 2 years, diving deeper into how this ex really was to her. He was a player, so much so that she gave him the nickname of Game Boy. It took her 2 years to understand and come to terms with the reality of the relationship. So, yeah, basically, as I said, this is a follow up to track number 3, 2 years, because in this song, she's talking about how it took her 2 years to really grasp the reality of the relationship. It took her that long to understand, to comprehend fully what that relationship was like to her. That it wasn't good like how she pictured it, like how she saw it from her perspective. So, yeah, this guy was a player. He just toyed with her feelings, and he basically had no good intentions whatsoever with her. So, yeah. Now we move on to track number 8, Stay a Little Longer, another one of my highlights. The instrumentation, in this case the piano, sounds beautiful from the get go. Rose delivers her best vocal performance on the album so far. And in this song, Rose pleads with her lover to stay a little longer with her, as she doesn't know how she'll manage without him. She's in too deep in this love, so she wants him to do something that'll make her hate him. So that way she doesn't have to miss him and there will be someone to blame for this. So, another pretty straightforward song. It's called Stay a Little Longer. And basically, Rose wants her lover to stay a little longer with her, like to not leave yet, but also in the sense that she doesn't know how to be without him, which is obviously a pretty unhealthy thing because it's really talking about a codependent relationship. She really has to learn how to be without him, or in general, just to be by herself, or just be by, sorry, or just be like without her partner around her. So, but as she's weighing over her head over this relationship, she wants him to like almost, she almost wants him like to sabotage the relationship or just do something that'll make her hate him, so that way, like, that way she doesn't have to miss him, and it'll make it just easier, you know? Because if he doesn't do anything bad and he just keeps being on being a good guy to her, then that'll make it all the more painful to her. Now, track number 9, Not the Same, the weakest track on the album thus far. The instrumentation doesn't go very well with Rosé's vocals. And in this song, Rosé talks about having reached her breaking point with her partner and just overall feeling deeply disappointed in him. There came a time when he wasn't the same anymore. The same guy that she fell in love with. He messed up big time and he knows she's right. So, yeah, I mean this is a pretty straightforward song, also self-explanatory, because it's basically talking about a relationship that is not the same anymore, a partner that is not the same anymore, because you already reached, like, you already managed to, like, withstand everything you could about this person, but you reached the point where you were like, I can't take it anymore. I already went through enough bullshit with this person, so I have to separate myself from this person. And because you don't even recognize this person anymore, they're not the person that you fell in love with initially. And this other person knows that they messed up, and they know that you're right about the whole thing. Now, track number 10, Call at the End. Rose slows things down a notch with this ballad. The vacuum vocals are a nice touch. And in this song, Rose is at a crossroads with her partner, and she's not certain where she stands with him. They don't know how to proceed. Part of her has lost hope already, and the other part of her just can't manage to let go. They had promised each other to face any obstacle that came their way head on. She doesn't know whether to call him her ex, her friend, or boyfriend. And overall, if their relationship even has a future to begin with, or if they should just call it the end for their story. Whatever their fate is, however, she lets him know that she's a better version of herself thanks to him. So, this song, the title gives it away. It's called Call It the End. And basically, as I said, a relationship where the two people are at a crossroads. They don't know which direction to go next. And like, they don't know where to take the relationship going forward. And they don't even know, like, if they can even call each other, like, if they can call themselves a couple anymore, or if they're just friends now, or if they're exes. So it's all pretty confusing to them. And So they don't know what the future holds for them or if they should just call it the end to their story. But whatever happens, at least one of the people is feels grateful for the other person, because they feel like, well, obviously you always grow and you always learn from every relationship, but especially in the case of the song, at least one of the people, instead of feeling regretful about what they lived with this person, they feel thankful for this person because they helped shape them into the person they are today. Now, track number 11, Too Bad for Us. In this song, Rose continues a story from the previous track, as that relationship has now run out of time. They have reached the finish line of their journey together, and all they can do is accept that their love just wasn't meant to stand the test of time. So, not a lot to add to the song, because it's continuing the story, as I said, from the previous track, and it's called Too Bad for Us. Basically, like, too bad that love has a way of working like this, that it doesn't meaning that it doesn't really always work out like people want to. Sometimes love tells you, like, hey, this is not meant to last a lifetime, so you might as well just call it quits now. So the two people have no choice but to accept that that's it for them. There's no more story left to live in that relationship, so they can just accept that that is a truth, that is fact, and move on. And that brings us to the final track on this album, track number 12, Dance All Night, the final of my highlights on the album. This is a strong closing track. Rosé sticks the landing with a sharp vocal performance, and in this song, Rosé wraps up the love story she's been telling. Now that she has gone through her breakup, she's coping with the aftermath. But as she reflects on what just happened, she decided to just brush see sorry. She decides to just brush it off as best as she can and not care about the heartache present in her life. So, pretty, standard track to end off on, at least lyrically speaking, because it's called Dance All Night. And that kind of tells you all you need to know about the song, in a good way, obviously, because when someone says, I'm going to dance all night, they're most likely referring to that they're going to, shake it off and just not think about their problems, at least for the night, and just, whether it be partying it away or just being by themselves and dancing and being carefree, whatever it is, they do something of the sort to forget about their problems, or in the case of the song, of their heartache, at least for a little while, because it really is the best thing to do, rather than just be lamenting yourself about what you went through. I mean, of course, you have to really feel and pour out your emotions, but there's a time for everything. You also have to distract yourself from everything. Okay, so that was the album. Overall, this is a solid pop album. Rose doesn't disappoint in the slightest with her debut album. The singular collaboration on the album proves that Rose doesn't have to rely on numerous guests to achieve what she wants to. The production is highly consistent. while the instrumentation is mostly consistent. And this is where I would compare the album to the rest of the artist's discography, but ROSÉ only, prior to this debut album, only released, um, you can call it an EP, a 2-track EP back in 2021, 3 years ago. So we really can't compare a full length album to an EP. So there's nothing to compare here. Now, what score do I give? Sorry, what score do I give Rosie by ROSÉ? I give it a strong 4 out of 5 stars. So yeah, guys, that was my review for Rosie by ROSÉ. Before I go, make sure to follow Pop and Bop on all social media for more content. It's basically at Pop and Bop everywhere. And yeah, guys, this has been Pop and Bop. I'm your host, Emilio Fernandez, once again. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone who tuned in this season of 2024, season 5. And stay tuned and look forward to the premiere of season 6 starting early 2025 next year. Thank you so much once again, and I'll catch you next time.